Hey everyone, welcome to This Explainer. I'm absolutely thrilled to guide you through this today because, let's be real, we're tackling something that literally impacts every single one of us. We're going to walk through a step-by-step guide to total personal cybersecurity, drawing from some really fascinating insights on the 2026 digital landscape. I mean, just look around. Our entire lives are online now. We're storing our bank accounts, medical histories, professional portfolios, and our most intimate personal memories right up there in the cloud. And because our digital footprints are larger and way more valuable than they've ever been, we're constantly being targeted by incredibly sophisticated AI and automated hacking scripts. So cybersecurity? It's really no longer just a corporate buzzword. It is an absolutely essential life skill for all of us.
Now, before you start panicking and want to throw your smartphone in the ocean, look at this number, 99.9%. I really want you to remember this because it completely changes the game. You absolutely do not need to be some elite computer scientist to protect yourself. By implementing just a few foundational, highly effective habits, which we're going to cover today, you can actually shield yourself from over 99.9% of common cyber threats. So we're taking all that digital anxiety and we're going to transform it into total empowerment.
All right, let's dive right in. To build our defense, we're looking at a 4-layer strategy. Number 1, the core, focusing on passkeys. Number 2, the gates, using multi-factor authentication. 3, the human element, to evade AI scams. And 4, the perimeter, securing your home network.
So let's kick things off with Layer 1, the core. We are talking about the death of passwords. For decades, right, we've all been told to create these crazy complex passwords. You know the drill: uppercase letters, numbers, special characters, the whole shebang. But today, hackers just use GPU-accelerated tools that can brute force crack those traditional passwords in literal seconds. It's wild. So the modern solution is biometric passkeys. A passkey is essentially a digital credential that's tied directly to a physical device, like your phone or your computer. Unlike a password, there's actually no text stored on a server somewhere, which means a massive data breach doesn't expose you at all. Your device just uses cryptography to prove it's you. Plus, they're completely immune to phishing. Why? Because they're cryptographically bound to specific website domains. You literally cannot enter a passkey on a lookalike fake website. The math just won't allow it. And on top of all that, you get that biometric speed, logging in instantly with just a quick fingerprint or face scan.
Okay, so here is your direct action plan to lock down your core. First, audit your major accounts. We're talking Google, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, your banking apps. Jump into their security settings. Second, select Create a Passkey and pair it right up with your device's biometric system. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what about all the older sites? For step 3, for those legacy websites that just don't support passkeys quite yet, you absolutely must use a trusted password manager. Think 1Password, Bitwarden, or Dashlane. Have the software generate completely unique, totally random 20-character passwords for those sites. And the golden rule to remember here: never ever reuse the same password twice, period.
And that brings us to Layer 2, the gates, multi-factor authentication. So, if a website is stuck in the past and doesn't have passkeys, you need a gate. You need a system that requires multiple pieces of evidence before letting anyone in. But, and this is crucial, not all multi-factor authentication is created equal. At the very bottom, step 1 is SMS-based authentication. We really want to avoid this if at all possible. Step 2 is going to be our recommended baseline for everyone: authenticator apps like Google Authenticator or Aegis. These are great because they generate local codes every 30 seconds and they aren't transmitted over cellular networks. But if you want the absolute undisputed gold standard, that's step 3, hardware security keys. These are physical USB or NFC keys like YubiKeys. You literally have to physically plug it into your computer or tap it to your phone to log in. So even if a hacker sitting across the world has your password, without that physical piece of hardware in their hand, they're entirely locked out.
Now, the big reason we constantly tell people to avoid those SMS-based text codes is because of something called the SIM swap scam. In this setup, a hacker actually tricks your mobile carrier. They convince them to transfer your phone number over to a brand new SIM card that the hacker controls. So once they hijack your number, guess what happens? All those text messages with your secure login codes go straight to the hacker's phone. They completely bypass your gate. And that right there is exactly why we want to upgrade to local apps or physical hardware keys.
All right, moving right along to Layer 3, the human element, evading AI-powered scams.
Think about it like this. The strongest, thickest vault door in the entire world doesn't matter one bit if you are tricked into unlocking it yourself, right? And listen, gone are the days of spotting a scam just because of bad grammar or a really weirdly worded email. Today's cybercriminals are fully leveraging generative AI. They use something called spear phishing. They feed your public data, stuff from LinkedIn or X, into AI models to write highly personalized, context-rich emails. We're talking emails that perfectly mimic your boss's writing style and even casually mention your actual current work projects. Or, honestly, even worse, deepfakes. By scraping literally just 3 seconds of audio from a quick social media video, scammers can clone a loved one's voice in real time. Just imagine picking up the phone and hearing a frantic call that sounds exactly like your spouse, claiming they're in a huge emergency and need an urgent wire transfer. It is terrifyingly convincing.
So how do we counter this? Well, we have to upgrade our own human behavior. First things first, establish a family safe word today. Seriously, talk to your family tonight. If you ever get a frantic call asking for money, ask for that private, unspoken word. Second, adopt what's called the wait and callback rule. If your boss or your bank emails you with some urgent out-of-the-blue request, stop. Hang up the phone or close the email, look up their official contact number yourself, and call them directly to verify. And finally, always verify link domains before you click. Just hover your mouse over the URL and look for those tiny, sneaky spelling errors, like someone using a 0 instead of an O in Microsoft. And that brings us to our final layer, Layer 4, the perimeter. We're securing your home network.
Your home router is basically the vulnerable moat protecting every single smart device inside your digital castle. We're talking your TVs, security cameras, smart locks, your personal computers. If the router falls, the whole household is exposed to the internet. So, to stop opportunistic hackers dead in their tracks, you need to change your default admin credentials. No more leaving it as admin and password. Next, jump into the settings and enable WPA3 encryption, which is the current industry standard, or at the very least, WPA2 AES. Now here's a really great pro tip. Set up a separate guest network specifically for your smart home devices. This isolates those cheaper, sometimes easily hackable IoT gadgets far away from your sensitive laptops and smartphones. And lastly, just turn on auto update for your router's firmware so it quietly patches vulnerabilities in the background.
But what about when you leave your home perimeter? Say you connect to the free Wi-Fi at a local coffee shop or an airport. Well, anyone else sitting on that same network can potentially intercept your unencrypted traffic in what's known as a man-in-the-middle attack. The fix for this is using a trusted, audited, no-logs VPN, like Mullvad or Proton VPN. It works by routing your data from your device through a completely unreadable encrypted tunnel. It basically bypasses the public Wi-Fi router and goes straight to the secure internet. Oh, and a quick side note, definitely make sure to disable auto-join public networks in your phone settings so it doesn't just quietly connect to some rogue hotspot while it's sitting in your pocket.
If you've been following along and setting this up, you have just built an incredible digital fortress. The main takeaway I want you to leave with here is this idea of becoming a hard target. I absolutely love this philosophy. Security is not about achieving 100% uncrackable perfection. It's really just about having a better lock than the house next door. Scammers are mostly opportunistic. They're ultimately looking for the absolute easiest lock to pick. So by simply switching to passkeys, using authenticator apps, maintaining a healthy dose of skepticism with a family safe word, and locking down your router, you place yourself leaps and bounds ahead of almost all potential digital threats.
Protecting your digital life. It's an ongoing journey, but it's built on these small, really smart, everyday habits. So I want to leave you with this question to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. Look back at the 4 layers we discussed today. What specific security measure are you going to implement first? Don't wait. Take action today and lock down your digital future. Thank you so much for hanging out and learning with me.